You're listening to Beyond the Feed, the podcast where we break down exactly how we use cinematic photo and video to build trust, visibility, and authority for real businesses on social media.
We're Parker and Justin from Prime Edge Media. We created the Trust Catalyst content marketing system to help mission-driven brands stop looking invisible and start showing up like the business they actually are.
No theory, no fluff, just real strategy pulled straight from the work that we do in the field every single week.
If you care about how your brand shows up online, you're in the right place.
So without further ado, quiet on set, please. And action. So welcome to the first episode of Beyond the Feed. How this format is going to go is we're going to start out with a lesson of the week. This can be a WTF moment. This can be a lesson that we learned in the field that week or anything like that. That's just a short, quick hitter that's on our minds. Then we're going to go into some sort of main topic. That main topic will have pretty much anything to do with social media marketing as a business. And they're all derived from, things that people are asking us throughout the week and just things that we're thinking of throughout the week as we're actually doing the work. And then we will do some sort of industry news or content meme of the week or whatever if we have time, and then we're out. The goal with this podcast is to be as short and punchy as humanly possible, because other podcasts that I've done in the past have just kind of dragged out a little too long. And, knowing our target audience, I want to make sure that, it's super quick, super punchy, and super tactical so that you guys, while you're listening in the car or, you're in between meetings or whatever, that this is still a valuable resource for you. So, Justin, today, what are we talking about?
The biggest thing today we're going to talk about is the idea of staying memorable online with your business. A lot of businesses, the biggest thing is they may make one piece of content every now and then when they feel it, and then they won't touch social media for a month or two. And while that one piece of content may be engaging, people may have liked it, may have shared it, may have commented on it, come tomorrow, they're not going to remember it because our attention is spread so thin in our world today. So unless you are constantly in front of people's faces, you are not going to be remembered as a business. So we're going to break down kind of how we do that with our system, the key pillars that we use to keep your content memorable and people constantly looking at you as their go-to source for whatever you provide.
Yeah. So, I mean, dude, one thing that I've learned is you have to say the same shit over and over and over and over and over.
Every day. Yeah.
It's insane to me because I used to think everybody knows the, McDonald's jingle. Everybody knows Coke. Coke doesn't need to advertise.
No.
That's already on everybody's shopping list for the week. But the reason that they do is because they want you to be thinking about them at checkout. Mm-hmm. So, it's insane to me the amount of small businesses that don't see that.
Well, I think it's every small business thinks they have to redefine the wheel every time they make a new post.
Right.
They're always like, oh no, what idea am I going to come up with today? How am I going to make something that's catchy and people are going to remember? But you just need to find what your core messaging is for your business, for your offer. Make sure it's captivating and just keep reusing that, maybe in slightly different ways. Don't just say the same thing over and over again, but you have to have a core message that you can go back to and just continue regurgitating.
Yeah, I mean, because we call it the spotlight effect. Mm-hmm. It's my favorite thing to bring up to people because it's so simple.
Yeah, it is.
And people, after you explain it to them, people get it. But it's not something that connects, I guess, naturally.
It's not, well, it doesn't connect naturally because for the past, I'd say 5 or so years, every marketing agency, every marketing guru, we've overcomplicated content.
Yeah, because they don't fucking know what they're doing.
Maybe they do, but it's become this thing where as a society, we have to constantly be pushing the limit of what's new, what's next, what's fresh. But as a business, you just need to have core messaging in place and you don't have to constantly be coming up with new.
Right.
Find what you're good at, keep continuing to make content on that, and then people will see what you do.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I'm sure this drove you fucking insane, but like me going through and simplifying and oversimplifying every fucking thing that we do.
We needed
you
it,
know?
though.
Yeah. And I mean, because I went through, earlier this month and did everything. I mean, and it was following, I forget the guy's name. Well, the guy, look up Building a Story Brand 2.0. Look at his book. It's so good.
We're going through that in one of our networking groups right now, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they have a book club, and they're touching base on each chapter each week, and it's the 2.0 version of Building a Brand Story. Yeah.
Yeah. So I went through that, and I realized that like there were key pieces missing, and one of the biggest things they talk about in that is you need to have one soundbite. And like I loved what he kept saying about like you need to talk in sound bites.
Yeah, you do. You really do. That's a skill too that a lot of people don't have.
Because like, what do you tell people like when we go to when you go to a networking group? What do you tell them that we do?
We're a full-service social media content creation agency with a focus on cinematic video and photo that builds know, like, and trust for your brand online. That's my opener for every networking event we go to, and then it goes into the specific ask of like we're trying to find these types of people, this type of industry, whatever. But that's my go-to every time I open up.
So I guess what do you have to say to, I mean, because I'm not going to be nice about it. What would you have to say to, the people who think like, well, I'm seeing this all the time, so people must be seeing this all the time. Like everyone must be getting sick of this,
I mean, it's just not true.
No.
Like social media platforms don't work like that. You could have 20,000 followers on a platform and make a piece of content, and it's not going to show it to all of the people that follow you.
Right.
Like they're trying to find new audiences for the content that you're putting out, so it's getting pushed to new people. And then at that point, once you put another piece of content, it's getting showed to new people. So most likely the people seeing your post are going to maybe see another post in a little bit, but it does not mean everybody is seeing it.
Right. Yeah. So let's get into our main topic. So the main topic for today is going over obviously like why we started the Trust Catalyst system and going over what the pillars are.
Yeah.
Because like I tell people this all the time. It's not proprietary.
No,
it's not. Like
it's not.
Our pillars to our system are not proprietary because it's just how social works. But I feel like getting back to what you had said earlier about, companies like overcomplicating it. I feel like the simpler you're able to make something sound, like I think and I don't know, like this might not be true for everything, but I feel like if you're able to teach something to a 5-year-old, you really understand it.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's what we focus on. Like our messaging is simple enough to where anyone can understand it. The big thing with most marketing agencies, I think they overcomplicate it because they want to be seen as like the expert in the field. Like they have all the answers. They know exactly what it is. You don't know what you're talking about as a business owner. Only we have that answer. And the truth is, it's not that complicated. Be consistent, have quality content and clear messaging, and you're good to go.
Yeah. And, that gets back to the whole thing about like, if they're overcomplicating it, they don't know what they're doing. I truly believe that because if you have to smoke and mirrors your way into selling somebody, you're not doing them a service.
Yeah.
The pillars, I mean, we used to think about this pretty different. Like, in fact, I'd only come up with the pillars like once we really dialed in the system because I thought it was all of these different factors and it wasn't. It was just, okay, if we have clear messaging, and then we're constantly posting all the time, and the content looks fucking awesome. Like that's what does well on social anyway. So why don't we just incorporate it that way? And like this is something that everyone can do. I hate to say it, but like you can get decent quality content from your phone.
For sure. And the biggest thing, like people hear that and say, "Oh man, you're putting yourself out of a job." We're not. Because what we're selling is a convenience for our clients. Because every business can make quality, consistent content with messaging. As long as you know your business, as long as you're somewhat savvy with the phone, you can do it. But a lot of times what you don't have is the time to really dive in and learn all that stuff. And that's where we come in. So we're not trying to sell this smoke and mirror thing that you don't know what you're talking about, only we have the answer. We're selling a service that offers convenience for the business owners.
Like, I love the whole misconception of like, oh, well, I can just do it myself. But you didn't.
Yeah. You thought about it a few times, but you haven't done it yet.
And they don't consider the mental bandwidth that this shit takes. Here's a good question. Why? So if I have the pillars laid out in front of me, and, you know, you can totally go do this, right? Why can't I hire my tech-savvy niece with a TikTok?
You could. But at the end of the day, as long as if they can understand the 3 pillars and really how they work together, that'd be good. But a lot of times, people that are videographers or someone that's tech savvy and like, oh yeah, I know how to make videos. I can make a post. They don't understand the in-depth process of building out the consistent messaging. The consistency may be there, but then the quality is probably lacking a little bit too. I just don't think that your average person is going to be able to manage that type of workload of consistent every single day, getting content out with the correct messaging. It's a lot.
Let's talk about what we heard yesterday from someone that we just signed about her videographer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So videographers are great. We're videographers originally. Like, our background is in filmmaking. And people may be able to make a nice video, but everything else that comes with it, they lack. So one of our clients that we just signed on, they have a videographer that they've been using, and it's been a nightmare for them. Like, they get out to a shoot, it ends up taking 4 hours. He ends up sending the videos, and it's nothing like they wanted, and they don't like it, and it's not up to quality. And then they're just back to square zero, where they don't have any content and have to reshoot again.
Yeah.
And wasting so much time, like a complete disaster. And this videographer also doesn't really know how to edit. So the edit is not very good, and it's choppy, and he chose the worst shots according to our new client. So you have to have someone that understands the whole base, the quality content, the messaging, and the consistency. And if you are lacking one of those, it all kind of crumbles around you.
Yeah, I mean, what's the metaphor that we use? The three-legged stool.
Yeah.
You know, and if you take one of the legs off, you don't have a stool. You have a hunk of wood on the ground. Yeah. You know, and that's what most people's brands are on social.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and I love the people that try and they're like, you know, let's put together like a kick-ass piece of content, but then it's like once a quarter.
Then it's dead, yeah. and that goes back to the idea of being memorable. The consistency is the biggest piece of the puzzle. If you are only posting content every couple months when you have the time, it will not work. You will not see any progress through your social media platforms. But even if you're posting subpar content as a business owner, but every day you're there, you're going to see growth. It will happen over time.
Well, and here's another really good point. So on your way to the studio today, how many businesses did you pass that you remember the names of?
2.
2?
Yeah.
Why?
They had cool wraps on their vans.
Okay.
That's the only reason I remember them.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they stuck out.
Yeah.
But you don't remember any other brands
No.
that you passed.
No. And I'm always looking too. So like with our job, I'm constantly looking at trucks with logos and stuff. And if I'm at a stop, I'm constantly following people on Facebook. So I'm always engaging with random businesses that I see.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who does
You're
that.
not the only one that does that. No, I do it all the time.
But with that, like, you don't remember them because you're not seeing them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But that, you know, that driver of that van, you know, or one of the 50 that you passed, they're thinking, well, fuck, I drive this road every day.
Yeah. Yep.
But you don't.
Yep. Exactly.
You know, and that's how people need to think about marketing is you see all the shit that you do every day. They don't.
Not only that, you see every single post that you make every day. They do not. So it may feel internally like you're spinning your wheels and you're like, I'm making all this content. People got to be seeing it. Not really. That's not how it works. So try to remove yourself from the equation, right? If you feel like everyone is seeing it because you're doing a lot, you are incorrect.
You know, it's the same thing with if your family and friends aren't talking to you about it, one, it probably sucks. And 2, they probably haven't seen it at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's one of those. And you can't really know which one it is, but humans are so wired to only think about ourselves.
Yeah.
You know? And marketing is the exact opposite. Like when you talk about pain points and things like that, and we're going to do a whole episode on that, you have to speak their language.
Yeah.
You know, and you have to say things to them in the way that they talk about them.
Yeah.
You know, so you can't say like, oh yeah, I'm going to help you, you know, have a cinematic social media presence. It's like, no, take my shit to the next level. That's what people tell us all the time.
Yeah.
You know, or I just need better Facebook. You know, or, you know.
You help me Facebook, yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
But like, it gets annoying for us because we're in it every day and we don't use those terms.
Yeah.
You know, but once we start using those terms, then it shows people that we understand what the fuck we're talking about and we get them. You know, we understand the problem that they're dealing with. You know, it's the same thing with like, I ask this in on sales conversations a lot. What question are you really asking me? You know, and it's not like, so for example, yesterday we were in a meeting and, you know, they were asking like, how many years of experience do you have in such and such industry? I'm like, that's not the question you're asking me here.
Yeah.
What you're asking me is if I'm fucking competent. Like that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
So that is a completely different answer than just how many years of experience do we have. So point is like the reason that we call it the trust catalyst system is because trust is the catalyst for getting somebody to want to work with you and feel safe. You know, because through COVID, like I talk about this all the time, like they as in marketers were setting up these ridiculous guarantees. Like, I'm going to get you 5 billion qualified appointments tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to quadruple and quintuple your money back. And I'm also going to give you my firstborn child and my house. But then what you don't realize is when you look in the fine print of the contract that they made it pretty much impossible to redeem the, you know, the guarantee. So people got jaded to that. And now, like, people just want something fucking real, you know? And that's, like, also, we get clients asking, like, you know, we've posted, you know, these same photos a few times, you know? Or we posted photos from the same job site or whatever. And I'm like, I want you to go look at one of our clients that you follow.
Yeah.
Do you see the same shit from them all the time?
Yeah.
And if you do you care? You know?
Right. Oh, darn, I'll swipe to the next thing.
Yeah.
No one really cares. People are so stuck into doom scrolling. They'll see something and then just move on, even if it is the same photo. And most likely people may see the same photo. They may just assume it's the same post from the same day. They don't even realize it's a second post.
That's true.
You know? But I think in that situation too, the trust is the biggest thing. And like yesterday, I definitely don't think they quite trusted us right off the bat.
Oh,
they
no.
came in skeptical, for sure, hard. But the second we started just talking to them and explaining really what we do, their guard went down and the deal was closed.
Yeah, I mean, because it made sense.
Yeah, it's simple. That's all it needs to be.
And if you're struggling with this, take these pillars. Quality content that makes you look how you're supposed to look. You know, how you think that you look in person. Second is consistency. You need to be posting high quality content all the time. And that content needs to have clear messaging, which is that third pillar. So I'm going to challenge you today. If you're going to do one thing, is to go home or go to your office or whatever and think about like, what's the one thing that you do? Just the one thing. And if you think about it and you're like, well, I've got like 17 different offers and whatever. Okay, what's the main thing that you do? You know, like for us, for example, we used to publicly sell one-off projects. We don't really do that anymore. Because we want people to just know us for the Trust Catalyst system and doing the monthly thing. But we still will sell those just privately, not in public. Think about like, what is that component for you? You know, what's the thing that, like, what's your 80-20? You know, what is the 20% of product that you make that brings in 80% of the revenue? That is your thing that, you know, is your main thing that you want to be known for. And if all of this shit feels way too overwhelming, well, we know a guy or two that can help you out with that. So this has been Beyond the Feed, the very first episode.
First episode, pretty smooth, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it went smoother than I thought it would. And I want to ideally have guests and stuff like that moving forward. I'd even like to bring some of our clients in.
I think that'd be fun. Yeah,
I think that would be really cool.
for sure.
So if you guys have any sort of ideas or anything like that you want to see on the show, please let us know in the comments. We do have a Facebook community called Beyond the Feed podcast community on Facebook. So you guys can join that, and that will have exclusive behind the scenes content. You can talk with me and Justin all the time. We're also going to be releasing episodes there early and all of that fun stuff that you would expect in a private community. Once again, it's absolutely free to join. If you want to learn more about the Trust Catalyst system, go to primeedgemedia.com/Trust Catalyst and share this with a friend if you found this helpful.
And with that, we'll see you next week.
Yeah. Outro. And cut.